Today I found myself feeling really grateful for everyone here in this room, and felt inspired with a very specific training that I want to share with you. During the event, what I do is I teach how you diversify your ROI. Like the whole event is based on the Have It All book, right? We take all this mindset stuff and then we blend it with single digit, double digit, triple digit, and quadruple digit. And most people would say that my results are really get rich quick, which is a turnoff for a lot of people. But the truth is that if you have some of your money earning double digit, triple digit, quadruple digit, you can get somewhere really fast. Because with double digit ROI, I double my money every other year. I do that in real estate. With triple digit, I double my money every other month. With quadruple digit, I can double my money literally in days and weeks. And when you're doing that, it means that anyone in a 5-year period of time can really accelerate their wealth and become financially free and financially independent. It's a cool thing. So I look at the attendees, they come into the event and they're like, okay, on the one hand, I came here for the financial training. And as we get going with that, you can tell they light up, they get excited, and I teach them the particulars of how you basically blend all of those really high-level ROIs together and how you access those investments. That's a mental game changer for people, and they walk around with a very specific, they walk away with a game plan where like, I know what I need to do. But throughout, we're talking about mindset, positivity, eliminating limiting beliefs, and while the audience, because they're curated through social media, they're great about it. They're online, they're excited for this. But there's always a small contingency of people who attend the event that at first, day one, are scratching their head like, why all of this excitement? Like, why the expression of all this energy? Why all of this positivity? They don't understand the correlation between personal development, personal mastery, and financial mastery. Because to them, they're just two separate things. And that's because society says, get a job, work hard at your job, and then we tell them, hey, invest your money intelligently. And that's because single, double, triple, and quadruple digit ROI is all about make your money work for you, and that will make you wealthy. But the event ends with me teaching a 5th ROI. Does anyone know what it's called?
Infinite.
It's called an infinite ROI. What is an infinite ROI?
Never ending.
There's no cap.
There's no cap, it's never ending, and you can't calculate an ROI if you don't put money in, and especially if you hardly even put time in. And I give them a classic example, like my father-in-law was my first partner. I had bought 3 homes, I had a little tiny mini baby track record, and while he thought I was crazy when I bought my first 2 homes, by the time I got to my 4th, he's like, maybe this kid's onto something. So he gave me the money for my 4th deal. Now this deal only required 20 grand, and a few months later we were out of it, and we each split 10 grand. And I remember the first time I calculated my ROI, because I always calculated my ROI. For him, he basically got a 50% return over 6 months, which annualized as 100% on his money. If you made 100% on your money in a year, raise your hand if you'd be excited about that. Anyone would. That's why we did 50 more deals together. But for me, it was different. I put in a couple of hours and I made 10 grand. And when I did my math, I'm like, I made $5,000 an hour. That is a lot more money than I normally make per hour. And the reason why it was so high is because I didn't put any money in, I just put time in. It is my most valuable asset, but that 5K an hour taught me something. First of all, I put no money in. So by the way, if I put nothing in aside from my time, what is my ROI on my money in?
Infinite.
It's infinite, right? Like I put nothing in, it's like I materialized, how did I invent $10,000 in 2 hours? If it didn't, because everyone says it takes money to make money. I broke that rule. And what I did is I put something different on the table. And this is where the connection is formed for the audience after 4 days. What enables me to make $1 million an hour in real estate?
A team. Track record.
What is it? What is it? Like you're selling this stuff. So like, what is it that gets me making $1 million an hour in the game of real estate? Why do people partner with me?
Systems.
Systems, expertise, track record.
You spend that amount of time on yourself.
Yeah, those are the financial words. Tell me the non-financial words. What are the other reasons why people want to do this with me?
Believe.
They believe in me. What else?
Integrity.
Breakthrough, confidence,
Knowledge.
Authenticity.
knowledge, authenticity. Those aren't financial words. So I got curious, and this time I actually asked the audience, I grounded them, I asked, what percentage of your decision to partner with me is based on my financial background, which is a given for anyone to give you money, versus the personal mastery? Do you know what the percent from the audience was?
Like 70, 30.
It was 75%. 75% of their decision was based on how I show up as a human being. It's not the deal itself. Deals are out there, deals are everywhere. Why do some people raise money for a deal and why some people can't? So here's the scenario. Your child is dying. Your child is dying and the doctors have no cure, but there's an experimental drug. And this treatment costs $1 million. And you only have 30 days to get the money. Everyone would like to believe that they're going to get the money, but the reality is the world is filled with Kickstarter campaigns that look like this. 1 million needed, $4,622 raised. The child does not get the treatment, the child dies. Guys, insurance fails people all the time when they get in the gap, when they have insurance or don't have insurance and they need a procedure and they don't have the money for it. So they try to raise it, they Kickstarter it, and you know what? Most of them completely fail. Do you know why they fail? That's because their personal mastery sucks. They're unattractive human beings. Because the majority of human beings are either doormats, closed off, they put their guard up, they're careful with people, they're skeptical of people, they're mistrusting of people, and they themselves have an undesirable personality. They got some type of RBF going on. They don't know how to connect positively with people. They don't know how to be charismatic. They don't know how to make an intelligent pitch or a request or an ask. They don't know how to be compelling. They don't know how to be influential, and so their influence sucks. And most of the world just lives in a box where this is okay, and we have a name for this box. It's called normal. It's called ordinary. That's the world of people we live in. And when someone comes to my event, what I'm trying to do is wake them up to the connection that if you want to access the best money on the planet, it's not yours. And it's not even OPM. It's relationship capital. Relationship capital is really what makes the most powerful people on the planet. And you don't get relationship capital by being unattractive in your personality, closed off, closed-minded, fixed mindset, rude, unable to connect meaningfully or deeply with humans. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because you're all here wielding one of the most important skills on the planet, certainly the one that launched my career. I would not be anywhere where I'm at today if I wasn't a college kid at a sales job that was hard and often sucked, that I didn't have to figure out how to get good at. I'm talking as a young man on the phone to human beings that are often way older than me, and they have financial problems, but they don't want to listen to a dumb kid that doesn't have a college degree, that hasn't done anything with his life. And some of you in this room might feel that way. It's like, why should someone listen to me? Why should someone, like what gives me the right, by the way, when I talk to someone who's making way more money than me, what gives me the right to know what's best for them or to communicate confidently or to communicate powerfully? But the skills that you can learn here in this room are some of literally the most valuable skills on the planet. I've mastered 21 different things in my life by virtue of Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hour definition. And they all stack together. And it makes me a really unique human being in the world. This is why social media, there's a group of people out there that I can connect with. But of all of my skills, there's one at the heart that is more important than all of them that connects them together. You know what it is? It's salesmanship. It's know how to present an idea effectively, powerfully. And if you look at what it is you're doing here, for some of you, it's like, well, I read the script and I try to be connective, and then it's a numbers game, and some will say yes and some will say no. That's what someone says when they're destined to lose this game. You will eventually lose. The only way you win is through mastery. Through what?
Mastery.
And mastery, I'm going to give you a definition that you maybe haven't heard before. I'm going to invite you on a little bit of a different journey than you've maybe considered. Mastering what you do, first of all, is a master skill that if you pair with others, can honestly take you anywhere. Because it enables you to tap into earnings higher than anyone else can. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And by the way, higher earnings, if you're smart with your money, means that you have money to what? Invest. Most people in the world are either spending it or consuming it, right? They're either spending it or they're savers and penny pinchers. And they don't get to go anywhere. Accumulators, you talk to them all day long. You take the best Dave Ramseyite, and at the end of their life, all their stuff's paid off, and they have a little bit for retirement, and they're screwed. And that's because they thought that accumulation was the way. Then you have the irresponsible that just spend when they shouldn't. But in the middle, the game is to invest. To what?
Invest.
And you can't invest unless you got some money. And this is where the game is different for you. You need money to access a single, double, triple, or quadruple digit ROI. And so you should have 2 game plans happening here concurrently. How many?
2.
The first one is to get good at this job so that you can make money so that you can what?
Invest.
So you can invest so that 5 years from now, you can have a vastly different looking life. Now, I'll also warn you real quick, most salespeople that make a lot of money, they increase their standard of living obnoxiously so they don't have money to invest. Because it feels good to drive a nice car when you make good money. And it feels good to live in a nicer home when you make good money. But if you prioritize investing, you'll be the smartest salesperson out there. It's just a tough choice for some to make. But there's a backup plan, or one that it should be paired with, which is master the game that you're playing so well that you develop the infinite ROI ability. For you to develop that, here's what it's going to look like. It's not just how well you can read a script and connect to someone, it goes beyond that. Do you have an attractive personality? And this is I would write these questions down. Do you have an attractive personality? Like, what about your personality is unattractive? And this is not exactly the kind of feedback that people like to look at. But this is the mentorship I believe that matters in getting you to the next level. And it's this hard, sucky spot of, wow, are you telling me that I have to look at myself in the mirror and ask what I suck at? Yes, all the greats do this. So you have to ask, where am I unattractive? Where does my personality become unattractive to the greater population? And for some of you, what's unattractive is that you're shy or guarded, closed off, or mistrusting. Raise your hand if you think that that can be conveyed through the phone when you're talking to another human being.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Energy is everything. And it doesn't matter whether you're talking to someone in Timbuktu or in the neighborhood right here, it's no different in the energy that is felt no matter where they are in the world. Face to face is even harder because now they're not just hearing you, they're watching you. They're looking for congruency. So part of what might be unattractive is that you have a lack of congruency between your use of facial expression, muscle. Like, do you know how to smile? Do you know when it's appropriate to smile and when it's not? Do you know when it's funny to tell a joke and throw some humor in? Or are you just always too serious? I guess usually my problem. Do you know that moment to strike like a python when it's your opportunity to go for the throat? You better believe that when I'm on stage, when I'm doing my event, I am literally looking for every possible weakness because there's always a moment to strike. And when I do, I want them to suffer so that, because I'm a coach, I'm a what?
Coach.
And this is what you are. More than a salesperson, you're a coach. You're coaching people to see and understand the things that they don't. So I'm looking for that weakness in their finances, in their strategy, in their philosophy. What is working, what isn't working. But for you to be able to convey that requires someone that can speak boldly and maliciously without igniting ego. So your own ego has to be put in check. Because I can talk to a very overweight person and lovingly look at them straight in the eyes and tell them, why are you wearing this fat suit? And they're not going to be offended. Speaking maliciously without malice is a skill. When you overcome objections, are you defensive? Because that's unattractive. Or do you know how to get them to chase you instead of you running into their territory? All of these skills, there's so many of them. And if you start taking note of all of the micro distinctions of different skills and abilities in this game and have an intention to master every one of them, you will develop mastery over this game of salesmanship. And if you do, you can layer it with just about anything and put yourself anywhere on the map, because it means that you get to earn greater money than other people. You get to invest it and you're gonna get there. But it also means one more thing. My father-in-law said yes to investing with me for a reason. And in the beginning, it was very much my financial track record. I used my money, I put it at risk, I won, so people wanted to play with me. Today, do you know why people want to play with me? It's more because of my personality, the energy that I give off, than it is about my track record. So both are important. You've got an opportunity right now to represent whose financial track record? Yours. Yeah, so you better do that as financially powerfully as possible. Lean as hard as you can, advocating for them, representing me. You don't have to have personal wins at my level. You're here to represent my personal wins, and you better never cower when you're talking to someone who makes $500,000 a year. Because do you think Kris Krohn would cower from someone who makes $1 million a year? No, not even a little bit. So you shouldn't either. So you're representing all of these financial gains from all these financially successful people, Dolph Bruce, Robert Allen, and all these other, people in that situation. But what you get to do is you get to then show up with personal mastery, which is your energy. Where does your energy dip? Where does it go low? Where are you unattractive? What are the parts of this job that you suck at? Your job is to basically hope that you can make enough money every week to stay in the game long enough to find more things you aren't good at that you can take from unattractive and make them attractive. So someone makes $50,000 a year working their butt off trying to make themselves more attractive, and they made enough money to stay in the game. That next year, you better clear over $100,000 if you never lose sight of making yourself a better human being. So a lot of people, I think, get in this game and there's like, it's just salesmanship, it's just numbers, it's scripts, and it's just following the script and doing the thing. But I think we all know that the 80-20 rule is alive and well, so is the 90-10 rule, and so is the 1 in 99. And you know what separates the best salespeople from everybody else? Is that they don't just stick to a script. They aren't just good at overcoming objections. They have aligned energetically their ability to authentically connect with someone, feel them, respond powerfully, strike when the moment's hot, never back down, say the words that's need to, subjugate their ego, know when to laugh, know when to smile, know when to poke, know when to push, and know when to make them chase you. Those are all skills. And so every day, while you're trying to make money, work on the master skill of how do I make myself more attractive? That is what will unlock ultimate, unlimited ROI. Because I fast forward now 16 years from the point that I became financially free. And today, I have people giving me their $50 million companies for no financial buy-in. Why? Why would Dan Olson take his entire very successful franchise company and bring me in as a full partner after all the years of building that company? I'm sure my track record matters, but it's the way he feels when he's around me. It's the experience he has. And you better believe with even Dan Olson, just like anyone, just like my wife, that I'm looking for that moment to strike and create value when other people are gonna shift to luck and hope that it all works out. So for you to become a person of really great value, you have to take a look at everything that's unattractive and you fix it. That means that your goal is charisma, powerful, meaningful connection, mastering, overcoming every objection for every personality type, for the 4 main archetypes. And it means that you become an expert at every part of the game. Because when you are, and when you can authentically, deeply connect with people, now you can get almost anybody, if they're willing, to respond in a manner where they know that they're having a powerful, custom, meaningful experience with you, and that's why they're gonna join. My background is a requirement. You being able to represent what I do financially, that's a requirement. But you representing you determines how successful you're gonna ultimately be in this game. And that is what has unlocked my greatest money-making ability. When I divide up my entire net worth based on what am I earning on my money I put out, based on what I'm earning from the infinite ROI where no money's gone out, but I'm getting paid for how I've worked on me, guess how the deck stacks? Guess what makes me literally 50 to 100 times more money? It's the unlimited ROI on the work I've done with me versus what my money does for me. And that's because money is two-dimensional, it's linear. You can tell it to do something and it'll work one way, but a human being can be more twisted, they can think, they can do so many different things. So my invitation today is to tap into a deeper level of, overcome objections, but you should have a technical personal game plan of every day and every week how you improve your personal mastery to become more attractive at salesmanship. Because if you can really master that game at the highest level, there's no reason for failure anywhere, period, in your entire life when it comes to financial success. That's what I got for you guys today.
Boom.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Rock it out.